Good afternoon, Sergeant Torres, and good afternoon, class. My name is Corporal Cologne, and today I will be conducting your unclassified training session on issuing a fragmentary order. The necessary gear for this training session includes Kevlar, LBV, iPro, gloves, and water. I will now check to see if all soldiers have the necessary equipment. Before we begin, we need to go over a brief risk assessment. Please keep in mind this is an indoor training environment and there may be uneven surfaces due to rugs on the floor. In the event of a fire, please use the emergency exit to my left. In the event of an active shooter, we will retreat to the bathroom and barricade the door. Finally, please remember we are a Green Army and we will leave the training site cleaner than when we found it and pick up all of our belongings and trash. Is there any questions regarding this risk assessment? No? Okay, let's begin. As I stated earlier, the task we'll be reviewing today is issuing a fragmentary order, or FRAGO. The conditions listed in the STP are given changes to the original operation order and a requirement to develop and issue a FRAGO. The standards listed in the STP are develop and issue a clear brief or FRAGO based on changes in the mission or additional information and issue the FRAGO in a standard operation order format. An important note is the FRAGO provides timely changes of the existing orders. A FRAGO is either oral or written and addresses only those parts of the op order that have changed. I have seen FRAGOs used the most during my work with the Honor Guard. We get our missions scheduled every night, but usually something comes up and either the teams change or the time changes for our missions. It is important to send out a FRAGO with enough time for your soldiers to respond appropriately if possible. It would be best to put out a FRAGO as soon as you find out there is a change in mission to allow soldiers ample time to prepare. Here are the steps for issuing a FRAGO as listed in STP 21-24. The first step is to use standard military terminology. And the second step is to issue the FRAGO in the same sequence as the op order and use all 5 paragraph headings. Remember, a FRAGO only lists those parts of the mission that have changed. For example, if the op order said that there was an informative brief at 07 in building 100 and the time of the brief changed for whatever reason, the FRAGO would only list the different time. It would not include the location again. We are now going to practice issuing a FRAGO. For this training, we will be using oral FRAGOs. You will be graded on the following performance measures with either a go or a no-go. A. Issue the FRAGO. B. Use standard military terminology. And C. Included all changes to the original op order. Please raise your hand if you have any questions regarding this task. I'm now going to make sure that I assess each soldier individually so I can ensure they're doing this task correctly. If 100% of my soldiers pass 100% of the steps, they'll be marked as T for trained. If not all of my soldiers pass, my squad will be determined as P or needs further training. And if no soldiers pass, my squad will be determined U for untrained. If anyone needs retraining, it will be provided immediately following this session. At this time, I will address my leadership on the training status of my soldiers. Staff Sergeant Torres, my squad is trained on this task. I will then conduct an AAR. The 4 steps to the after-action review include review what the task was, ask what actually happened, ask for improvements and sustainments, and then conclude with a summary. I will not ask for a specific number of improvements or sustainments, and I will welcome open and honest feedback from my soldiers. Once the after-action review is complete, I will close out the risk assessment by asking if there were any injuries to report. If there was, I will refer to Block 14 and notate them. If there was not, I will write that the control measures that were implemented were successful. I will then sign my name, rank, duty position, title, and my signature, thus closing out the risk assessment. Following the risk assessment, we will move into closing, and I will ensure all sensitive items are accounted for and recovered, and all soldiers have their equipment that they came with, which again was Kevlar, LBV, iPro, gloves, and water. Once everything is accounted for, I will ask for permission to close out the training site. Once I have received permission, this training will end. Thank you.